What is Johnson City's greatest asset, and what should the City Commission do to protect and enhance it?
I think the greatest asset are the people, that we need to try and bring in higher paying jobs, giving them a place to live that they can afford, and a place that they can get around in. We've generated too much for cars and not enough for ways of getting around town without a car. And you know, to me, the people, they always make up the biggest asset. I mean, yes, we have beautiful scenery around and lots of natural things that happen around here, but we need to concentrate more on the people themselves and what they want to give back, and we accept that. And work with the City Commission and really all of the different departments to make it a good place for our citizens to be, and to let them flower and bloom, and that brings lots of creativity and art and all of the other things that make life livable and quality.
I think Johnson City's greatest asset is our people. And our current residents, as we're trying to grow and we're seeing lots of new people flood in, which is always great and always something to be cherished, new people coming into our community. We also need to be looking to see what do our current residents want our city to be. That requires the city to be very responsive to the community by listening and not just coming up with great visionary plans that what we'd like to see the city do. Instead, we need to be looking at our community and seeing how our community members would accept or reject those proposals with a little more user-friendly website, better ways in communicating to our people. For example, our budgetary cycle needs to be starting much earlier to be able to have input from the community, and we need to be engaging local groups and trying to get them involved in things such as the Blue Plum Festival and Meet the Mountains.
So I think our greatest asset, I mean, there's a couple of them, but it's our people and our culture. We've got this kind of historic, just kind of Southern hospitality, and I think it's really what's drawn people from out of the area here, and it's part of really what I want to do about kind of maintaining our culture and strengthening it. So as people move here, we kind of even grow more into our culture and not kind of divert away from it. So I think our people are our greatest asset, but I think on top of that, we've got an interstate that runs right through town that really links a lot of areas. I think that's a huge asset. And then obviously having a university here, 15,000 kids, and a healthcare system based out of here is another just kind of good anchors that we can have. But we really need to work on downtown and kind of making that as good as it can be so we can really kind of showcase it. There's a ton of potential there, but I think there's just the homeless situation and some other things just need to be addressed to really maximize its potential. And then, you know, if downtown's kind of as vibrant, then the whole community can enjoy it. It doesn't matter if you live in North Johnson City, South Johnson City, you know, it kind of gives a gathering place for all of town.
I think Johnson City's greatest asset is the diversity of its people. There are a lot of different incomes, there are a lot of different interests, there are a lot of people moving here from a lot of different places. The thing that makes Johnson City so unique is our ability to cater to all of those folks while still maintaining the personality of the city. I think it is the City Commission's job to safeguard against commercializing and allowing the whole city to become a strip mall of chain stores just like every other town that you go to, that we have enough small businesses, we have enough unique events that makes the place different from a lot of cities that others can visit, and the commission needs to make sure that we are allowing the right kind of businesses to come in, that we are encouraging these unique festivals and these events that make us different from other places around here.
I think the best asset we have is our mountains, our area, the waterways, the things that we can do outdoor activity-wise. We're here in a great part of the country, and it's all within close proximity to us that you can get there. I mean, we have a mountain bike park in downtown, so there aren't many places in the world that have that. With our Horizon 2045 20-year plan, we're making sure that we put things in areas that will enhance growth and keep our farmlands around, keep areas that are green, and only develop in certain parts of the town and expansion only in certain places where we need to go.
I think the greatest asset in Johnson City is the people that live here. And Johnson City's improved in a lot of ways, but those citizens, those people that are most valuable to us, they're struggling. They're struggling to pay rent, they're struggling to cover their bills, and I want to prioritize making sure everybody can afford a roof over their head. Because if you can afford a roof over your head, it means you can afford to work where we need employees. You can afford to frequent our downtown businesses. You can spend money in the city and circulate it. And that leads to more improvements for everyone. And specifically on City Commission, I'd like to look into systems that other cities have maybe implemented. I'd love to look into home housing trusts, CDFIs, community development financial institutions. So we can establish some kind of public-private partnerships, get some projects going that are desperately needed in the community that might not do well just by themselves in a strictly private environment. So I want to couple some public funds and private investors to get that housing developed that we need.
Johnson City's greatest asset are the people that live here. It's important that we continue to provide them a high quality of life so that they can all grow, thrive, and prosper. And so, with that being said, there is no community without the people that live in it. And so we have to preserve, protect, and take care of them well. The City Commission can continue in providing spaces where citizens can be heard, where their needs are met, and their concerns are taken seriously.
I think we have a lot of great assets. I think one of the assets is just our location, but also the people. The people of the Tri-Cities are amazing, unlike anywhere that I've ever lived. I've lived Knoxville, Memphis. I've visited lots of places around the country. We have an amazing, resilient group of people. We also have great health care here with ETSU and things of that nature. So it's a very, very special place in that regard.
A month ago, I'd have told you our greatest asset is the combination of higher education and healthcare community that exists around the university and the various health professions that exist in our community. And I think those are still significant attributes of our community. But in the last couple weeks, I've been reminded that perhaps the greatest strength of our community is its people. In the wake of the disaster that followed the hurricane, what we've seen is a community that responds and responds quickly with bottled water and diapers and chainsaws and pickup trucks, and doesn't wait around for something else to happen. It's a community that responds to the need without waiting for somebody else to tell them they can. And that is actually probably our greatest strength. And I think the opportunity for us as a city, and the City Commission is just a part of that, is to continue to nurture a community that is resilient in that way. And to encourage that, because you can't buy that. That isn't something that a community can just instill in itself. That is just inherently there.